Now, a few days ago, the 10th National Assembly marked its first anniversary of legislative activities, with many Nigerians divided over the performance. Well, joining us tonight to take a look at House of Representatives in the past 1 year is Patrick Umoh, the member representing Ekore Ekpene, Senodim, Obot Akara Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Umoh is also chairman of the House Committee on Legislative Agenda. I'm almost tempted to say more committee. So, 1 year of the House of Representatives. Statistics are being put out there in terms of the numbers of bills, 1,188 bills, 679 motions, 300 petitions, on and on and on. Let's get your assessment as a member of the House yourself of your performance in the last 1 year. How have you impacted on the lives of Nigerians?
Well, thank you very much. I represent Ekore Ekpene Senudimoboroka Federal Constituency, and by the grace of God, I chair the House Committee on Monitoring, Evaluation and Implementation of Legislative Agenda. And recently, too, I was appointed by the Speaker to chair the Nigeria-Tanzania Parliamentary Relations. It's a friendship group. And so far, my contributions have been immense in the sense that, first, we've done the part of lawmaking, and then the second, which is oversight, and the third, which is the component of representation. Right. In terms of bills, I have done 14 bills, and most of which have gone on second reading. And then in terms of motions, those ones are uncountable. And then I've also laid petitions before the House representing my constituency. And then back at home, I've tried to engage with stakeholders, physically challenged people, and women, and then also the youths.
That's your personal scorecard.
That's, yes.
And it's tempting for you to, go in that direction. But I'm looking at the House of Reps as a whole. We can, of course, come to your individual performance, yes. But let's talk about, the House of Reps as a whole.
Okay, House of Reps as a whole, I would say we've done exceedingly well. The 10th Assembly is the People's House. Right. And we've identified 8 key priority areas, ranging from issues of national security, economic diversification, open parliament, good governance, inclusion, and climate change and environmental sustainability, and then e-parliament. And so we've done very well. I would assess us so far in 1 year that we've done very well. And the leadership of the House of Representatives has been very open to members, and the people. Our public hearings are open, and then again, even our sittings are transmitted live, giving Nigerians that sense of partnership and belonging. So for me, I think the 10th Assembly has done well. Then going forward, we can do better. So I would say so far, so good.
In terms of checks and balances and separation of powers, which, are core to democracy, there's the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. To what extent really has the House of Reps, let's narrow it down to your, part of the legislature, performed in checking what some might term as excesses of, of the government, of the executive? Would you say that you've effectively, and efficiently done that?
Of course.
And are there areas that you can point to?
I'd say the House of Representatives has done so well in terms of, the checks and balances. Of course, the compass is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that stipulates the mandate of the National Assembly, and in specific, the House of Representatives. So I would say in terms of conducting oversight, we've done our best to check the executive, policy oversight, or even the actual oversight, and even budget implementation. I belong to the Public Accounts Committee, for instance, and I know that we are doing a whole lot of work to save Nigeria. And then again, the Ad hoc Committee on ITF, I was part of it. We've done so much to ensure that we undertake recoveries for the federal government. And so I think the National Assembly, particularly in specifics, the House of Representatives, is doing very well in terms of the checks and balances. And then again, if you look at the 2024 budget, you see that we played a key role in ensuring that Nigerians reap the dividends of democracy. So for me, it's just seamless, and we're doing our best.
One issue that's been troubling to Nigerians, the issue of loans, you know, and the speed with which the National Assembly, whether it's the Senate or the House of Reps, have, you know, giving the go-ahead to take loans, further burdening the already overburdened you know, Nigerians on this external loans. But let me even put that aside. I'm a bit troubled about the latest development where the House of Reps specifically is calling for the acquisition of new aircraft for President Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. Can Nigeria afford it? How much of a priority is this?
Well, I have to be careful since I'm not the spokesperson of the House of Representatives, but the reality in all of this is, going back to the issue of loan, let's take it one after the other.
Exactly.
Almost all aspects of our national life needs to be jump-started. That's the reality. And so to get the country running, we have to seek interventions here and there. And taking a loan is not an exception. I mean, so it is easy to say the House of Reps has done this or that, but then are we looking at the state of our economy? We need to rescue the economy. And then if there are options that can help the ordinary citizen on the streets, then government, we must partner with government, we must collaborate with government to ensure that the right decisions are taken and on time.
That's where the challenge is. Yeah, it's good for the Nigerians, and Nigerians really don't mind if you take the loans and they go to where they're specifically meant for. The problem is the wastage, diversion of these funds and what have you. And at the end of the day, Nigerians are worse off than when they began the journey. As House of Reps and a member of the House of Reps, what are you doing to ensure that when you approve these loans, that you actually carry out your oversight function to ensure that these monies going forward are not diverted or, you know, used for things that really don't add up or, you know, add value to the lives of Nigerians?
You will agree that in the National Assembly, we work through committees. Right. There are relevant committees that cater for these concerns. So when loans are taken, they undertake oversight over the expenditures of these loans. Like I cited the Public Accounts Committee, of course I'm a member. So I also know that we oversight the implementation of such things. If we have loans, aids and loans, there's another committee like that. Of course, they're also doing their job. And there are other relevant committees of the House. And again, as the House of Representatives, we also have our sessions where we look into these issues. We are empowered by law to invite chief executive officers of MDAs, that's Ministry, Department and Agencies of Government, to account to Nigerians. And it is the people's house. So we're doing all of that. So we can't sit here and judge or express prejudices over you know, plans to take loans until the loans are actually taken and then executed or used for whatever purpose the government seeks to use it for. So for me, I think we should be patient. If the president considers it necessary to take a loan and has approached the National Assembly, then we will do our job, and then at the end of the day, we oversight.
The issue
it is all in the interest of Nigerians.
Right, of course. The calls for acquisition of new aircraft, I'd like you to address that. I mean, how much of a priority is that presently for Nigeria, that the president and the vice get new aircraft? Why do they need new aircraft?
Well, it's not in my place to take decisions on why or answer questions as to why or who needs what aircraft. The issue is we have a country. We also should have an image. We must make a proper image for our country. So, yeah, of course, I'm not sure you will be very excited to find the president struggling with me to use a commercial flight to go and negotiate for our country. So if it is necessary to acquire an aircraft, it is also for the image of the country. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Nigerians would want to know what exactly is wrong with the present aircraft, the fleet that the president has.
I don't have the technical know-how to know the state of the aircraft, but I also know that we have to do our job as a National Assembly, and we are limited to what we are empowered to do by the Constitution. So if you look at it and get the consultants and the experts, they are the ones who advise us. And then some of our colleagues are also very experienced people. Some are retired Air Force officers who are in the National Assembly, as in the House of Reps. And so we seek advice here and there. We get the consultants to advise us, and then we take the appropriate decision. I'm only one out of 360 members. So it is inconsequential whatever I say. But what it is that we'll meet as the House of Reps and consider those issues in the interest of Nigerians. And I think we are doing that job very well.
So how consequential is it in terms of the size? Because every now and again, the debate around whether Nigeria needs a unicameral legislature or bicameral one, you know, it's just rears its head. Is that something that House of Reps is looking at?
Well, I know...
Because some are saying, look, the lower house is enough as representatives of the people because you're about 300 and something, and that's enough to represent the interests of Nigerians.
Well, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria exists for equality of states. That's why you have 3 senators per state, and then we have us 360 representing respective constituencies. So for me, that's just okay. But these are issues. Of course, I also am a member of the Constitution Review Committee.
Right.
If Nigerians feel this should be so, we call for memoranda and we consider them on the merit. So it is for the people. But I feel since the Senate has its duties under our law, we should allow it the way it is and then make progress for Nigeria. That's actually not the problem of our country. The major problem we have in our country is that Nigerians themselves should consider themselves as stakeholders in the business of governance.
In the Nigerian project.
And the Nigerian project is for all. Nobody is higher than the other, except that we have these structures to serve the people. And the structures that we have are clearly representatives of the people. And
you've been serving the people in the last 1 year. In 30 seconds, if you can, I mean, tell us, you tried to seize the opportunity earlier, and I stopped you. It would be nice to know how you've impacted on your people and the lives of your constituency.
Well, I represent Nigeria.
Okay.
But it begins from my constituency. So I've told you, I expressed earlier that I've made contributions in terms of the bills that I've presented before the House and the motions. That's in the interest of Nigerians and even the petitions.
Which specific one that affects Nigerians?
Oh, okay. I was interested. I presented a bill to amend the Central Bank Act. I presented a bill to amend the Court of Appeal Act. I presented a bill to amend the Marriage Act. I presented a bill on a number of, about 14 of them. Right. If I have to count, I'll lose your 30 seconds.
Great.
And then I did the motion for the appointment of justices to the Court of Appeal. I also did the motion for appointment of justices to the Supreme Court, maybe given my pedigree as a lawyer. And to the glory of God, that has been done. The appointments have been made, and I'm sure you know as much as I do that most of them will be sworn in.
Great.
Or have been sworn in as
Patrick Umoh, it's good to know that you're not one of the bench warmers.
Thank you very much.
I mean, there's a list of, lawmakers who have not contributed or sponsored not even one bill. You're not in that category. Thank you so much for joining us. Patrick Umoh is Chairman, House Committee on Legislative Agenda. Thanks for joining us.